Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. A very good morning. Gives me great pleasure today to be with you. This morning, it's very early morning on a Saturday, just a few days before Ramadan. First and foremost, I'd like to actually thank EdgeProp Malaysia for this privilege. Let's give them a round of applause for organizing the event today. As you know, it's free of charge. Not often that you get freebies nowadays. All right. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you all awake? Very good. Can I hear a big yes, please? Very good. Thank you ever so much for being here. And I'll have about half an hour or so to keep you occupied. So basically, I hope that it will be a useful sharing this morning. Okay. Because basically, I think it's very rare that we can get to be in a hall like this. This is probably for some of you the first time. If you haven't done your AGM yet, or EGM, the last 1 year. Okay, so I would imagine that this is the first time that you get to see your old friends as well. And also at the same time, start to come to sessions of sharing experience sharing, sorry. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, my turn is the first one this morning, so I would just beg for your forgiveness if I seem to be a bit slow. It's a bit, some people are good in the morning, some people in the evening. So I'm that type in the evening, actually. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, I'll be just sharing with you about my perspective and my sharing on the fact that, during the last 1 year, it's an unprecedented session of events, and we can see that there are a lot of things which have actually overtaken a lot of our expectations, and a lot of things have happened out of our norm. And I think a lot of people would have followed in the media that one of the important frontliners were the property managers, and still are. Okay, these are the people who actually were there from day one, fighting, okay, to be there. They could have actually given the excuse that basically Majlis Keselamatan Negara says that property management is not essential service. The first 1 week, that was the argument and the debate, but eventually after persistence from the practitioners, and one of them is actually a Malaysian Institute of Property and Facility Managers. We tried our best to prove to the government that there is need for us to be there. It's actually quite a big sacrifice by the members and the practitioners. Not all the practitioners are members of MIPFM, but indeed, all of them have contributed a lot towards the safety and health of the residents as well as the occupants. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like you to join me in giving them a round of applause for this big contribution. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just move forward with my presentation this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, COVID-19 visited us, I think just over a year ago. It started off quite early. It started off in January, but we only realized how serious it was, around March time. And on the 17th of March, 2020 marked the first start of the MCO, or the Mandatory Control Order, Movement Control Order, which was imposed by the government. Now, of course, MCO 2.0 came in later on, early this year, which also delivered another blow to the country in terms of social aspects as well as economic aspects. So all these have affected us in many ways, and a lot of us have suffered losses of loved ones, losses of business, and a lot of other opportunities as well. So I think we have to just make sure, moving forward, we need to find ways how to recover, and part of it is also to look into what we have invested all this while. And it's very, very fitting that EdgeProp Malaysia has chosen the topic, future-proof your investment in the new norm. because this is where we start to look at how we are going to not only retain the value of our investments, as well as enhance it moving forward. It's not going to be easy, ladies and gentlemen, yeah? We have lost a lot of opportunities in the last 1 year, and moving forward with the vaccine already in sight, we hope that very soon we'll be back, fighting and able again to live our normal lives. But again, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the new normal life, all right? Now, if you look at the statistic as of 31st March, we have actually 345,500 total cases, and we have had 1,272 deaths. So it's still happening. So ladies and gentlemen, I beg you today to observe the SOP at all times. Do not get too excited and overlook the fact that we have to adhere to and comply with all the rules and regulations. And please make sure that we wear our masks, sanitize frequently, and at the same time keep our distance from each other. And try not to, I would say, forget that the session is very short today and we don't have that much time. So try to get as much sharing as possible. Just waiting for the couple to take their seats now. Okay, there you are. All right. Okay, latest status, as you can see, it's up and down. It all depends on you, ladies and gentlemen, and the people of Malaysia. If we comply properly and we know what we're responsible for, we will be able to stop the infection, the chain of infection. And it all depends on us all. And as you can see, it's now progressing towards improvement, and we hope it will continue to be so. Right, ladies and gentlemen, when we had the MCO, the first round, there were a lot of challenges for the property managers. A lot of them were not sure whether they are supposed to be on site or at home watching Netflix or Astro. And most of them were so responsible that they decided, no, we will break the rule. And at that point in time, we're not so sure, and we keep on calling the Ministry of Housing and Local Government to ask for their approval. And basically, unfortunately, because it was not in the first list, we were not really listed there. But as you can see, all the rest of the services were there. Okay, but finally, we got into the list for better or for worse, and here we are today. And I can share with you, thank God, during that period of time, I did not get any. We did not get any report of any of our members getting infected. That means they knew the SOP very well, and they were exemplary in compliance. Okay, so I think that was very, very important for us to do. Right. Now, at that point in time, there were a lot of SOPs coming out. Chup, 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 chup. Every week there's a different SOP. What the government was trying to do was to react to the responses and all that. Of course, they were planning earlier, but again, as I said, events were unprecedented. It's out of our expectation. And that during that time, nobody knew what to expect, in fact. Okay? And when things were turning for worse, of course, the government had to take drastic action. All right, so the latest SOP, as you know now, is dated 18 March. So I think this has been going around. And there is a 14-page SOP just for strata development, courtesy of the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. Still, we do not see property management on essential services. But Ministry of Housing has been there all the while to support us and to make sure that we are heard as well. So I think we better give a round of applause also to the ministry. Can we give them, please? Thank you very much. All right, good. Thank you very much. And next, of course, MIPFM had to play a role as well. So once we got all the feedback from the members and practitioners, and some of them also owners, residents, joint management body members, and management corporation members who actually had problems, issues, and they contacted us. And what we had to do was that at least once a fortnight, we actually issued out circulars, to give advice to our members as well as the public who actually asked us for advice. Okay. Now, this also got us into hot soup. This part. Okay, because there was one circular which we sent out, which was actually not well accepted also, by the public. And there was a comment from a legal practitioner, saying that we were not right to say so. But again, we are looking after the interests of our members. We know what our members are facing, and we know what the public also are having problems with. So we try to be as proactive as possible. All right. So what was the impact? What was the impact on property management? At that point in time, the state of preparedness, that was very, very unclear. It was a gray area. Can we do this? Can we not do that? They are asking us to do this. Should we follow? Are we allowed to allow these people in? There are a lot of things that were all not properly communicated. And everybody was at a loss. Okay. But then after that, you had also suddenly infections in the building. I tell you, when there's infection, it's like somebody had a dreadful disease that will kill everybody. Everybody was talking, and everybody was like, I tell you, reacting really crazy. And they start to viral out. That was really bad. And I can tell you what happened to some of our members also was that, there was some communication of the infected persons. And unfortunately, some did not take it well. Some actually instigated legal action for the release of the names. So that's why MIPFM felt that it was necessary for us to tell our members, please do not take the risk. You can follow the SOP, but please keep the information confidential, and it's not to be shared with the public. All right. Okay. Next, working from home. Everybody was at home at the time. I can tell you, nobody was on the road. It was really dead. There were pictures of beavers crossing the road. Actually, in my own neighborhood, the beavers, the membrang, came all over from the Tasik Subang Jaya near the Dorset Hotel there, right over to our lake in USJ Heights. They crossed all the way because nobody was on the road. It was so safe, And in TTI Jaya, there were apparently, reportedly, all the crocodiles were there. Seriously, it was so good. Under the bridge in Penang, you can see dolphins swimming around. It was fantastic. These things happened during that time. So anyway, everybody was at home working. So basically, they had all their necessities. Everybody, most people, except for the property managers who were stuck in the management office on limited number of capacity. All the rest were working from home and trying to get good broadband service, trying to get good communication and all that. And it was quite a struggle for some. Okay. Now, of course, with all this, we start to look at the technological part of it. The technology behind all this, I would say, advancement in communications, in IT. And there were a lot of expectations at that time. You need to get communications out within the next 30 minutes, Some say, no, right this minute, you have to tell everybody already. And some of these people do not have the technology to do that. They were still doing manually. And it was very difficult. Okay, let's get everybody on the WhatsApp and try to communicate, And it was really, really challenging because WhatsApp also had a limit to the number of people who can be on the channel, all right? Then, a lot of other things came out also. How do we manage the visitors? Can we let them in or not? Do we know whether they're authorized to come or not? They are going to deliver. Do we know which unit or not? So a lot of issues. Food were left at the guard house, and then nobody collected because nobody knew that it arrived. And there were a lot of chaos. Okay, now, SOPs came out. So every week, we at the Secretariat of MIPFM, we had requests. Have you seen the latest SOP? What does it say? Can you share with us? So basically, dissemination of information was a challenge at that time. And we had to send out as much as possible. And then that is how we actually tried to do it. Higher cost of operations. This was very difficult for us. Okay, keeping the residents informed, as I said earlier, communication. And of course, the most difficult part is supplies. The shops were mostly closed, and when we wanted to have some supplies, it was not very easy. And also, when you look at the SOPs, how do you enforce them? Okay, and last but not least is restoring the confidence to the workers. Should I come back or not? Okay, so all these things were really quite challenging. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the new norm has come upon us. It's time for us to really move forward. And all these have actually been affecting us a lot, but we need to know what we have to do. I'm going to share with you just 8 points, okay? And it's up to you after that to formulate and see what exactly that you need to embrace. Okay, first and foremost, as you can see, technological trends. There's a lot of things which have been happening. It was supposed to be in 3 or 4 years' time for us to actually get this on the road. But it was expedited within 6 months, imagine. I would say that, this is actually the mother of invention, I suppose, the pandemic. A lot of things actually got improved. And you can see that a lot of things, IoT was actually driving a lot of things. And even indoor air quality, which my colleague, Mr. Anthony, is very concerned about. Everything seems to be of concern, and all are actually related to technology. After that, safety and health, of course, we have to adhere to the SOPs. All the property managers had to actually prepare temperature screening. Some of them have this fogging gun. When there are places where they are infected, they'll use the fogging gun for all the visitors before they come in, with the ultraviolet light there as well. Okay, so some of them invested on that. All right, and then of course demographic trends. Okay, you have the millennials who need to have good broadband support, and also at the same time the senior citizens as well. They need support in terms of medical. A lot of things that they require, and the property managers had to move quickly to make sure that they prepare all this in advance. Software and applications, there are a lot of things, especially when you're tracking complaints. You need to have the right system. And then, of course, even security. Security guards are your eyes and ears in the evening. Okay, the property managers are not around. So these are the people who communicate for you, and help out during the property manager's absence from the building. Okay, managing rental properties. There are a lot of things. Smart locks, smart lockers, smart buildings, smart homes. There are a lot of things that actually suddenly expedited because of the last 1 year. Amazing, isn't it? 1 year can really bring a lot of things. Augmented and virtual reality, those things came up. You want to rent a house, you cannot go to view, so they show you on a 3D and walk through. Fantastic. Okay, smart townships and building trends. There are a lot of things that you have to look at. Security features, even LPRs, license plate recognition. If you are in Smart Selangor apps now, they ask you, do you agree to participate in the license plate recognition system? You have to give your approval. Only then you can participate. There are a lot of things that they are trying to do contactless, and this is the challenge. Big data. You need to have data, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, you will not be able to anticipate what's going to happen in the future. That's why data on, what is happening, clusters being created, and all that also are actually basically based on all this data which being compiled. And this is the only way you can optimize your service level performance as property manager. All right, ladies and gentlemen, competition. The last 1 year, we have seen also a lot of new companies coming into being. So we hope that, although there are so many companies now who are able to participate in the industry, we hope that they have this scaling opportunity for all their personnel. Okay. Conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the way forward, the new norm has become our norm. Okay. New skills and knowledge is very important for our personnel to deliver what is expected as property managers. And there are a lot of things that we have to follow based on the current conditions. And I can tell you now, property managers really need to move forward and step up, because this is the only way they can actually meet expectations and at the same time also remain competitive. All right, we need to invest more in training and also at the same time the skilling of our personnel, because this is the only way we can ensure that the properties which are entrusted upon us to manage are actually retained in good condition, maintained in good condition. At the same time also, the value of it is future-proofed and enhanced. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, thank you very much for your time. I hope that the little time that I have is enough for us to share. But indeed, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to post them after this. Thank you ever so much again. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.